The queen of the house wants another accent wall, and I figure I might as well try and do it with the fewest power tools possible. So the only power tool that I'm going to use is a circular saw. That's it. All right, so in previous accent walls that I've done, I've been able to keep the baseboards because in my last house, my baseboards were square on the top, which is a lot more of a modern look. But in my current house, my baseboards have this fancy chamfer that's routed into the top. So unfortunately, these have to go or else they'll look terrible. All right, first let's prep the area and remove the baseboards. Baseboards are caulked along the top of the baseboard, so all that we need to do to take this out is we need to score a line along the top and break that caulk line, and then we're gonna pry this off and make sure to use a putty knife behind the pry bar so that we don't put marks into the wall. You can pull these nails out if you want to, but I'm just gonna hammer them in. There's two different ways to attach the boards to the wall. The first is the easiest way, but it's the permanent way. If you put down some construction adhesive on the back, you can just nail it wherever. Doesn't matter, that construction adhesive is gonna be what holds it there. The nails are just there to keep it until the construction adhesive dries. And the second way, you just find the studs and you nail into where those studs are. And this is a lot harder because you can't just put your pieces wherever you want. You have to be aware of where the studs are so that you nail into them. So I'm gonna locate where all of my studs are on the wall, and that's where my battens are gonna go. So in the future, if I wanna take this off, there's no glue. It can come right off and I can just fill the holes and paint it whatever color I want, or change it to a different type of accent wall. All right, baseboards are out. Let's go ahead and mark where the studs are. This is a stud finder, and it's gonna help me locate exactly where the studs are on this wall. All right, so now I have a mark right where the stud is. So now we're gonna make a plumb line all the way to the bottom of the stud. So I'm gonna use a chalk line for that. Now to mark my stud, I'm just gonna pop a nail in here. So we're gonna take the chalk line and we're gonna hook it onto the nail that we just placed into the wall. And then we're gonna use this chalk line as a plumb bob. We're just gonna drop it, okay? And then we're gonna press it against the wall. We're gonna snap it. And now we have line exactly where our stud is. All right, now I know how many boards I need, so let's go to the garage and cut those.
If you have a table saw, I recommend you use that because it's going to be a little bit more accurate and it's going to do the job a little bit faster and easier. But to show you guys that you don't need one, I'm using this Kreg Cut Jig. It literally took me 5 or 10 minutes to set it up. It was only 50 bucks and it did the job just fine. And you can attach it with any circular saw. I'm using a Ryobi one here.
I wanted to point out really quickly that I have a table saw, and even though this is a fairly cheap one, it was only about 300 bucks, I'm not going to use it, even though this would be the perfect tool for the job. I'm going to use this other $50 jig because most likely you don't have a spare 300 bucks to go throw around at a table saw. Every DIYer either has a circular saw or needs to buy one, so this $50 jig is going to be a good substitution for stuff like this. Now when joining two pieces of baseboard together, you have to use a 45-degree miter. So we're gonna use a circular saw again, which if you have a miter saw, use that, it's gonna be way easier. But for the purposes of this video though, I'm gonna show you how to do it with a circular saw because you might not have one. So all we have to do is loosen this knob up here on the front of our circular saw. It might be in a different place if you have a different brand. And then we are going to adjust this plate until it hits 45 degrees. We're gonna retighten it. So now, as we're cutting straight, the blade is at 45 degrees to the plane that we're cutting on. All right, let's go cut some miters. I just hit 10,000 subscribers. You guys, that's been a long time goal for me. I started this channel 3 years ago, so hitting that was huge. And to thank you guys for sticking with me, I'm giving away this 6-tool combo kit from Ryobi. It has all of the most essential power tools to get started with home improvement or DIY projects. So it's going to be perfect for the person that wants to do things like this accent wall, but maybe they just don't have all the tools. It's also a good option if you've been doing stuff like this for a long time and your tools are old or you just want more. And I did make it insanely easy to enter the giveaway. All you have to do is follow my Instagram account, like the giveaway post, and then tag your friends. So if you like free tools, enter. It's free tools. Yeah, I'll wait. I'll just wait right here while you do that. All right, now for the next challenge. The baseboard in this corner is actually mitered, but it would look pretty silly if we were to miter the new baseboard because it's a totally different shape and it's a little bit taller. If you have a multi-tool, like I do, definitely use that. I'm an idiot for not using mine, but I said I was only going to use one power tool, so chisel it is. So the first thing that I'm doing is I am scoring where I want to cut it with this utility knife, which is hard in a corner. Apologize if you can't see this. So now that I've scored it with the knife, I can come in with the chisel, just kind of break it away. So now we have room for that board to slide in right there. All right, now we need to attach the boards to the wall, and that's why we grabbed these finish nails. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're like $4. All right, so we're first gonna place the board in where we need it to go and seat it all the way down. Now, we're just gonna nail it in. Maybe thinking, Clayton, why not just use your nail gun? Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot, but doing this for you, doing this for you. So I'm gonna throw a nail right up there. All right, so now I can come onto this side. Now I can nail it. There we go. All right, quick tip for you. When you're doing these mitered joints, when you're joining two boards together, make sure that the first one down is aiming towards the wall. Because if not, it's really hard to slide this one in behind it and then up against where it needs to go. Especially if this is a corner where there's another baseboard coming out this way. So you always want the first one to be facing the wall, because now you can just set it right in place. You don't have to worry about that. So now that we have the baseboard in and we have the one on the top, we just need to measure for all of the vertical pieces. And we'll measure all of these individual vertical pieces separately because they'll all have a slightly different measurement for the height. All right, let's do it. All right, so I left these outlet covers up until now because I was actually using them to reference where I put the boards, which worked out fine for these two outlets, but this one over here is gonna have a little bit of an issue. So I don't know yet if I'm going to cut into the board or maybe just cut a little bit, shave a little bit off the side of this outlet, which is likely what I'm gonna do because I think it would look better. If you think this video isn't a total waste of time so far, then do me a favor and interact with it. Leave a dislike, comment how boring it is, you know, just typical things that people say on the internet. Shoot your shot. I'm not judging you, but interact. All right, now the wall's done. We just have to do some cleaning up. I'm gonna use some spackle and I'm gonna use some caulking. And then once that's dry, we're gonna paint it and we're done. All right, so now that I'm done spackling, I'm gonna get to caulking, and I'm gonna caulk all around all the edges. Right here. Thank you. Thank you for the help, buddy. You know, it seems sick to me. All right, 2 things left. I need to finish sanding the wall, make sure everything's nice and even, and then we're gonna prime and paint this, and we're done. All right, we're all primed. Time to start painting. Here's what the wall looked like before, and this is it now. For the materials, I started with a 4x8 sheet of 1/2" MDF, and that was about $40 when I bought it. I used 1 gallon of paint. I got a pack of 100 finish nails for $4 at Home Depot, and I used 1 tube of caulk, which was another $4. So the only power tool that I used was Ryobi Circular Saw, that was like 40 bucks, and I used the Kreg Cut Rip Jig, and that was also $40. I used a hammer, I used a chisel, and I used a utility knife. Maybe some other tool stuck in there somewhere, but assuming that you don't have a single tool at all, you could buy all of the tools and materials for this project for less than $200. I would say I probably only spent like 8 hours building the wall, and if you have a nail gun, which I do, I just didn't use it, but if you use it, it would have gone a lot faster than that. I don't spend a lot of time on Pinterest, but apparently it was like really weird that I painted the door. I actually really like it, and people seem to think the same thing, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Should I have kept that white, or do you like the green? Hopefully this video isn't terrible, and if it wasn't, you should subscribe to my channel. I make a lot of videos that aren't terrible. I basically invented being mediocre. You should definitely check out some of my other videos.